Jeffries as Marion Kirby, the ghostess with the mostest. Robert Sterling as George Kirby, that most sportive spirit. And Leo G. Carroll, host to said ghost, as Topper. Behold Cosmo Topper, conservative banker, good citizen, loving husband. Now, don't jump to conclusions. Topper is indeed talking to somebody, even if he's not visible at the moment. That's George Kirby. He's been dead for quite some time. And that's George's lovely wife, Marion, both swamped by an avalanche in the flower of their youth. Neil, their St. Bernard, met the same fate. There he is now. This ghostly trio has returned to bring a little happiness into the life of their sedate companion. And there are only 3 people in the whole world who can see those ghosts. You and I and Cosmo Topper.
Hurry up, Topper, will you? Neil's tongue is hanging out.
To think that I should become wine steward to a lush hound.
What's that, Jack?
I was just praying for rain. My roses have got curly leaves.
What a sneak. He's writing on a ticket.
Well, don't just sit there invisible. Do something.
You sit still, Neil. I'll handle this.
Grab his motorbike, George. I'll start the car.
All right, Jack, how is it done?
How's what done?
You're driving, I'm chasing you, and we're here.
Oh, dear.
You better say something, Jack, and say it fast.
Well, you'd never believe me if I told you, officer.
All right, Jack, if that's where you want it, I'll throw the book at you. Illegal parking, interfering with an officer while writing a citation, appropriating police property, and driving a car without a driver.
Now what? That cop grabbed Topper, you know.
Well, maybe it wasn't such a good idea after all, huh?
I feel awful.
Well, I'm miserable.
Think how he feels. Topper has his gin.
Let's go home, honey. I know Topper. He'll think of some great excuse and get out of it.
For once in my life, I'm not too sure.
You'll regret this, my man. I'm as sober as you are, and you know it. You've no right to detain me in this bedlam. And what's more, I refuse to let you examine me.
Now, cool off, Jack.
Well, my name's not Jack. Why does everybody persist in calling me Jack?
Now, don't get too excited, my friend. Nobody's going to hurt you.
I've
seen thousands of them come and go.
I tell you, I don't belong here.
That's what they all say.
Well, it's true. The only reason I'm here is because I was arrested by an overzealous policeman.
Oh, drunk, I suppose?
Oh, well, he certainly looked it. You mean me? Well, certainly not. I scarcely take more than a single cocktail in a month. Well, this isn't mine. I bought this for the dog. My friend's dog. He's a St. Bernard. You may as well sit down, and I'll give you the whole story. You see, it all happened about a year ago. You see, this is delightful, but quite irresponsible couple, George and Marion Kirby. They live with me. The only thing is, they're dead. Oh, yes. The dog, too. It all happened about a year ago. George and Marion Kirby were very much alive then. And by way of celebrating their 5th wedding anniversary, they pushed off on a skiing trip, since they both loved the sport.
Forget to fasten your safety belt?
Oh, what rotten luck. It must be miles from the chalet. How long do you think it'll take us to get back, George?
Practically forever, without skis.
Isn't that awful? I hate to think of you walking.
Me?
Let me have your skis, darling.
No. Just a minute, young lady.
George Kirby, would you actually allow your bride to crunch through 50 miles of deep snow, fighting a blizzard attacked by wolves?
Listen, Goose, you park yourself right here. I'll scoot down the trail to the ski patrol shack and come back with a first aid sled.
Don't you dare leave me.
But, darling, I can make it to the shack in 20 minutes.
George Kirby, do you see that sign?
Well, what about it?
Well, suppose I get caught in the avalanche.
There isn't going to be an avalanche.
Well, then, you stay here and let me ski back to the shack.
Darling, we're just wasting time.
Well, for heaven's sake. That dog is drunk.
He's stiff as a goat.
Well, that's the first time I've seen a St. Bernard who couldn't carry his liquor. He's so starting with the stuff, George.
No, but you'll have an awful hangover in the morning. You probably need a little of the hair of the dog.
Give him an aspirin.
Give him an aspirin? He's supposed to be saving us. Dog, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Don't shout at him. You'll give him a headache.
I'll give him a headache, all right. What do you mean coming on a job loaded to the gills? I've got a good mind to report you to the... What's what?
The noise. George, it's the avalanche.
Several months later, Henrietta, that's my wife, decided that our apartment had become too small for us. I had an appointment with a real estate agent to see a house.
That was 3 months ago, Mr. Topper, and they never did find the bodies.
Yes, but is all this legal? I mean, how can you sell a house if you can't produce the corpus delicti? Or is it corpi delictus? After all, if all you told me about the Kirbys is true, they were quite an irresponsible couple.
They sure were, Mr. Topper.
Exactly. And it's just possible they may be off on some merry jaunt somewhere and not dead at all.
I don't care if they're dead or alive. They only made the first payment on the house, and our office got orders from the loan company to sell.
I see. Then I may safely assume that the house has reverted to this loan shark.
Loan company.
Quite. And there'll be no question of future litigation.
Oh, none whatever. Would you like to go inside?
Well, perhaps we'd better wait for Mrs. Topper. After all, she's the one you've got to please, you know.
Why, hello, Mrs. Topper.
Oh, no. I just found out from Addie Stevens. Do you know whom this house belongs to?
Yes, dear, the loan shark.
Loan company.
It belongs to the Kirbys.
But...
And you know what happened to them?
Mrs. Topper...
They were supposed to have died in an avalanche, but the bodies were never found. I wouldn't set foot in that house until they bring back the bodies.
My dear Henrietta, what possible use could we have for a pair of frozen bodies?
I don't want any bodies. Mr. Moulton, you have no right to put this house on the market until you have proof that...
I've been all through that with Mr. Topper, Mrs. Topper. Our office got orders from the loan shark to...
Company. I mean... It's quite all right, dear. Even if they do show up. Frozen or otherwise, they have no legal claim.
Positively ghoulish. I wouldn't set foot in the house.
Oh, but Henrietta...
Don't argue, Cosmo. I wouldn't go in that house, not even if you dragged me.
Mrs. Topper, I'm sure you'll feel different when you've seen the inside of the house. It's really quite cheerful.
Yes, thought.
Besides, we don't want to live in an apartment all our lives.
At least there aren't any corpses in our apartment. Very well, Cosmo, if you insist. But I'm not going to take it.
Once inside the house, my wife decided that it all looked rather cheery, so she went off with Mr. Moulton to see the upstairs part. In the meantime, she asked me to pace off the living room to see if our carpet would fit. 10,
12.
13,
15.
16.
That's what?
16.
You did. I said 15.
Cheer up. George can only count to 20.
Oh, stop it, will you?
Stop what?
Stop hiding. Where are you? Where are you?
Ah, you're cold.
Still cold.
Ah, getting warmer.
See anybody?
Of course you don't. We're invisible.
I don't believe it. Who did that?
I did. Now do you believe it?
No. Yes.
Well, make up your mind.
This is impossible. This is impossible.
You're repeating yourself.
Maybe he has a limited vocabulary.
I don't feel well.
That's no reason to sit on my wife's lap.
It's all right. I rather like it.
Oh,
Oh, isn't that fun? He does bird imitation. Some more, Cosmo.
I need a drink.
Now you're making sense. This way, old man. I'll have it for you in a jiffy. Here's your drink. Careful. That's good stuff.
Yes, but I can't see you.
Shall we materialize?
I suppose we might as well.
Hey, stop.
You said you wanted to see me.
Yes, but not without your clothes.
Don't let that worry you. There. How's that?
Good. Very nice.
Well, here I come, ready or not.
Well, now, I'm ready for a drink. Materializing always does wear me out.
Would you mind telling me just who you are?
Oh, haven't we introduced ourselves?
Oh, what a shame. I'm Marion Kirby, and that oaf at the bar is my husband, George.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do?
The Kirbys? But you can't be the Kirbys.
We can, too.
The Kirbys are dead.
You said it. Dead as doornails. Oh, would you mind, old man? Thank you. Darling? Cheers.
Cheers.
No, you must forgive me for being a bit nervous, but I have never met any ghosts before.
Don't mention it. We haven't met any alive people in quite some time either.
Not since the accident.
Do you mind telling me exactly what happened?
Not at all. A couple of months ago.
A couple of months ago, it was our 5th anniversary.
Congratulations. Don't mention it.
We went skiing and ran smack into an avalanche.
Neil, too.
Neil? Who's Neil?
That's Neil. He's a wonderful dog, but a bit of a topper-topper. Say, George, that's pretty good. Topper-topper.
Really?
Topper-topper.
Calm, Mr. Topper. It's not as funny as all that.
I was laughing at something else.
Oh, would you mind, old man? Thank you.
Henrietta was afraid this house was haunted.
Hey, you take a powder. She's not psychic, is she?
I never thought so before.
We don't like psychic people. They're so pushy, always trying to meet us when we don't want to meet them.
How do you remember the medium that tried to get us to materialize when we were both taking showers?
Served it right if we had.
Oh, thank you, old man.
It's Henrietta.
There you go, being scared of her again.
I'm not scared. I don't want her to be scared. She may not quite understand about you.
Well, that's simple.
And look, if we should happen to materialize when anybody else is around, remember, nobody can see us but you.
Cosmo, where are you? Cosmo, why didn't you answer me? Cosmo, what's the matter? You look as though you see a ghost.
I told you she was silent.
What's that?
I was just breathing, dear.
Well, that's been very strange, Cosmo. Who are you talking to down here?
No one.
I distinctly heard you talking to someone.
Me too. Well, you must have heard the neighbors.
It's that noisy. We certainly aren't going to take the house.
Oh, not a bit noisy. The neighbors around here never talk above a whisper.
Cosmo! Where did you get that drink?
Drink, of course. At the bar.
What bar?
Over there.
I don't see any bar.
How did you do that?
How did I do what?
Make that wall go up.
What wall?
I could have sworn. Cosmo, I told you there was something strange about this house.
I think so, too. Perhaps we'd better look elsewhere, Henrietta.
Coward.
Nothing of the kind. I was just being sensible.
But I didn't disagree with you, Cosmo.
Folks, I think we're a little edgy on account of the former tenants.
Former tenants. That's a hot one. Besides, it's too expensive.
Why, I haven't even quoted a price.
He's got you there, sweetie.
Is this the only one you've had, Cosmo?
Mr. Moulton was most insistent that Henrietta explore the house further. So in spite of her feelings about the previous tenant, they went off to look at the kitchen.
I never heard anything so outrageous.
Is something wrong, dear?
Do you know what they're asking for this house?
Outrageous. Let's go.
I haven't told you yet.
Pay it, Papa. We'll make it worth it.
We'll make you young again.
How much is it?
$28,000.
Out of the question.
What needs to last?
$1 million less.
After all, Mr. Topper, the Kirbys agreed to pay almost twice that amount.
We did not.
They did not.
How do you know?
We paid 27.
They paid 27.
Cosmo, how do you know?
Well, as a matter of fact, I looked up the deed in the county clerk's office.
Stout fellow.
When did you do that?
None of your business.
That's Stelligan.
Well, I might have been mistaken, but...
Cosmo, I never thought you could be so smart. You must have looked it up before you came here. I ought to report you to the Board of Fair Trade.
See what happens, Topper? You've only been with us 10 minutes, and already your wife's beginning to respect you.
Think what would happen in 20 minutes.
Well, if what you say is true, I could cut the price a trifle.
I'll give you 20,000.
20,000?
What's more, that's for the furniture.
Cosmo, I'm not sure.
I'm sure. Not a cent more.
But, Mr. Topper, a house in this condition...
It's in terrible condition.
It's in terrible condition.
What?
Tell him the plaster's starting to scale. George, get this.
Plaster starting to scale.
Where?
Over there, on the mantel.
Over there, on the mantel.
Tell him the cellar is flooded. George, get the hose. Take me a whiskey.
Why, the cellar is flooded.
That I know isn't true.
Stall him while George gets the hose.
Cosmo, how do you know it's flooded?
Just wait.
I'll show you how wrong you are.
Look, I'll make a deal with you. If it isn't flooded, you get your 20,000. If it is, the house goes for 16.
Mr. Topper, you've just lost yourself some money.
I bet you it's as dry as Kansas.
did you do that?
Of course not. I didn't touch him.
I did.
Sold for $16,000.
No wonder you didn't have time to measure the room. Oh, Cosmo, you're wonderful.
Oh, it was nothing really.
Let's go home and start packing right away. What is it, dear? Something else wrong?
No, everything's fine.
Goodbye, darling.
Till you move in, old man.
Henrietta, I'm beginning to feel young.
Why, Cosmo, you are beginning to feel young.
Well, there it is. I've never told the story to anyone before, and I take my oath I'll never tell it again.
I never heard anything like it.
Look, you could see that I'm not intoxicated, can't you?
Well, you look sober enough to me.
And will you please say that I'm released from this place at once, Doctor?
Doctor? I'm not a doctor.
You're not?
Heck, no. I just come here to paint the bathroom.